Hi, my name is Liz Poppenhouse. I am the Digital and Maker Services Manager, and today I'm here to talk to you about making handmade invitations and name cards for weddings or other big events. I wanted to do this class because I actually made my own wedding invitations, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And we have a bunch of great resources here in the Launchpad that you can use to make your own invitations, name cards. Everything I'm going to talk about today, you can use for whatever you'd like to, whatever purposes you'd like to. I'm talking about in the realm of invitations and cards, but if you want to use these techniques to make other things, you are more than welcome to. So a couple of different options I'm going to talk about today, and these are all tools that we have readily available in the Launchpad for you to use. The first one is using a heat embossing technique. You can see you got this gold shimmery glow to the Mr. and Mrs. up top there. And then this one is using a watercolor technique, which we will soon have a watercolor kits available in the Launchpad. And then this last one is using a kind of hole puncher to get this nice little effect on the borders of an invitation. So we'll get started talking about a free online software called Canva, and that's what I generally use to use graphic design in a free, easy to use format that if you're not a graphic design expert, there's a lot of great templates, and if you are into creating your own designs, it's still very user-friendly. So I'm just going to briefly touch on it. If you have interest in using Canva and you want to learn more, I urge you to check out just online resources, YouTube. Canva actually has some great little tutorials on their website as well. So if you wanted to create an account, you just go to Canva, that's canva.com, and create an account. I'll mention this later, but there are several different tiers, so you can have a paid account or a free account. But for our purposes, all you need is the free account. So we'll start with Canva and then we'll move on to other techniques.
Canva is a free graphic design website that is just used in your browser. It's really a great resource for making all kinds of projects. But for our purposes today, I'm going to talk specifically about invitations. So the great thing about Canva is they have a lot of templates and they have options for you to kind of create your own designs. So I'm going to show you how to use both options today. So you can create your account for free. There are paid options, but there are also free options. And for our purposes, you really only need the free option. So you have your main screen here, and you'll see there's templates, features, learn, pricing. And the pricing is going to go over those kind of tiered plans that are available. If you look down here, you have all the recent designs you've made. You can create a new design by clicking on this Create a Design in the upper right-hand corner. And it gives you several options for different sizes. So if you are working in social media or something, you can choose this Facebook post and it will give you the best size for a post that size. I don't see a kind of, this is 7x5, this is kind of a different card. An average card size for a wedding invitation is 5x7. And since I don't see that here, I'm just going to click on Custom Size. And create my own. It automatically sets it to pixels, but you can adjust that to inches. So once you're in here, you can basically use this text tool. It's probably what you'll mostly be using. And basically you're just going to grab over different text options here, and then you can just make adjustments as you go. So You'll see up here, this is Lato Bold and size 48 and in bold. You can take any of these though and update them. So you can change out any of the text here, and then we can highlight it. We can change the sizes, and then we can change the fonts. So we might want to go with a more scripty font or a more kind of traditional font. We'll go with this one here. And then you can kind of go through here and do the same thing with all of the info that you want to add to your invitation. Adjust the font, the size, and you can really just do these to your style, what you want for your invitation. After you've completed this and you have your invitation ready to go, and I'll show you one that I was working on earlier, we can take this and all you have to do is hit download, and then we're going to save it as a PDF print. Download, and you'll see it downloads right over here for us. Then you can take this, and if you have a printer at home that can accommodate different sizes, you can print it directly from home. You also have the option over here to print. So you can have Canva actually print your items for you. So we could go through here. Cards, they might do some resizing and stuff to get it optimal for a card. They're pretty affordable. 50 copies for $27 is pretty good. Another option is to look up wedding templates here, or wedding invitations. And you'll see there's just a ton of templates here. So if you wanted to choose any of these, you can do so, and actually you can, like I said, have Canva print them for you, or you can print them yourself. So you can really take any of these and just make adjustments to the wording. And you can make adjustments to the overall design if you'd like. You can move things around, change the names and the date, you know, all the details here. So they make it really easy. Like I said, you could do this print cards, or you can download and print them yourself. So that's Canva. That's a great way to get started with your wedding invitations. You can do this for the place cards as well.
So I want to start today by talking about paper sizes and options. There are many distributors of nice fine paper that you can use for invitations. I personally like to use Paper Source because they're easy. They have the right sizes you need. You can go into a store or you can order online, but there are definitely cheaper options out there if you Google to find the right, kinds of paper that you're interested in. These are all from Paper Source, this kind of blush color and the off-white. So those are some options for you. Typically in like a wedding invitation, you're going to have a little bit bigger size, so maybe a 5x7, and then you're going to have a smaller card that's going to have maybe details of where the reception is, that kind of thing. And then generally speaking, a response card. Now all this, you can do it however you want to. If you want to just have everything on one card, you can totally do that. You can also, a lot of people are just doing the RSVPs online now, so that's another option, and will save you money on postage as well. So you can consider that instead of doing these kind of response cards that are right here. I just wanted to show you the embossing colors that we have. We have gold, white, navy, black, a kind of sparkly black, and a kind of light green color. So there's a ton of different embossing powder colors out there. So if you're interested in doing this heat embossing technique that I'm going to go over in a minute, I recommend, Googling around for different colors as well. I, as you can see, personally like the gold a lot. I think it looks really nice and shiny, especially against a kind of white or blush card. So those are those options. And I'm going to show you also now the stamps that we have here at the Launchpad that you're welcome to use. These are just some of the stamps that we have here in the Launchpad, available for our members to use. You can see we have a Mr. and Mrs., a save the date, some kind of generic love, and then this kind of flowery plant like one, and then a couple of other flower options. Like I said, we do have other stamps available as well, but these are kind of the more, I guess, traditional wedding ones that we might have as options. I'm going to demonstrate for you now how to do this heat embossing technique using just one of the examples I showed earlier, which is the Mr. and Mrs. stamp. So if we take our ink here and we just make sure we get ink all over the stamp, and then we're going to take it, we can look at it, okay, it looks well inked, and you're going to place it wherever you want it to be on your invitation or name card. So I'm going to put it just right at the top here. And we have our Mr. and Mrs. there. And now I'm going to quickly apply this gold embossing powder and let it get it all in there. And then we're going to get off all the excess so we can see we got it pretty well filled in with gold embossing powder there. I'm going to take this and put it right back into the tube here so we can use it later. And then basically we just take the heat embosser here, the heat gun, and we're just going to apply it directly to where we have the embossing powder. Now do you see how that just looks totally different now? We have a nice gold, shiny, kind of raised image to kind of jazz up your invitation a little bit. When this dries, it'll become a little bit thicker too. It'll be a little more raised, and it'll look slightly different, a little more like the original one I showed you right here. So it kind of just melds together a little bit. So that's the heat embossing technique. You can use it with any of the stamps, any rubber stamps you have. You can always come use our heat gun and our embossing powders, or you can purchase your own if you're interested in doing this at home. The next card I'm going to show you has this kind of doily cutout on the sides. So we have this one here. We have some other ones in the Launchpad and just some other shapes. If you ever want to use any of these, you can just ask whoever's working. But to get this effect, basically we're going to go around all the edges of a card. Now, I like to flip this over to kind of see, you can see where your card is at in the design. So we can kind of start here and we just hole punch our way through basically. You can see I left a little bit there. The trickiest part is these corners I tend to just try and line up a couple of the little holes and send it through. So now we can see here, I want to line up where this one left off, so right about here. And you're just going to do this all the way around the card until you end up with this kind of design. Now this takes a little bit of time, but once you get in the groove of it, you can move through cards pretty quickly. So one thing to keep in mind is there's a bunch of tiny little pieces of paper that it's cutting out. So you might want to have a piece of paper or some kind of way to collect all this at the end. So that's kind of using the edger here to create a nice effect on an invitation. And the last invitation design I wanted to talk about today was the watercolor invitations. So again, this is kind of up to your design style and what you want the cards to look like, but this could be a really fun activity for you and your partner to do together and have some fun with it. So this one I just kind of did almost a wave sort of design here with it. But like I said, we can get as creative as we want. This is just a really basic watercolor set. And again, we have this available on the Launchpad if you wanted to come in and use it. I think we also got these for very cheap on Amazon. So if you wanted to purchase your own watercolors as well, this is a really fun way to kind of make your invitations unique. So I'm just going to kind of do little circles along the bottom here because I don't have a great design in mind. But I think this can add a lot of fun to your invitations. Obviously, it depends, all this depends on the style of your wedding, how formal you want things to be. This is going to have definitely a little more informal look. But still be a lot of fun and add a little bit of a different element to your invitations. And let's do this dark one here. So you might want to keep going with this. You might want to, the thing with this one is you're going to have to well, you don't have to do anything, but if you want your invitations to look uniform, then you're going to have to kind of come up with a design and kind of stick with it. So let's just finish up here. Let's do this one. I'm just going to kind of finish it out here. And some of these colors maybe we'll use a couple times. Let's not do the greens too. The light blue here again. And we'll do one more kind of down in the bottom corner here. So now we have this kind of fun, whimsical wedding invitation that's really personalized from you. So that's another option to do this kind of watercolor invitation If you have a hard time coming up with the designs on your own, you can Google and, kind of get some ideas for different designs you might want to try. With this kind of thing, if you're purchasing your own cards, you're going to be saving a lot of money. So you can, mess around a little bit and have some fun with all these techniques without spending a ton of money. So, if you just want to mess around, you decide you don't like this design or another design, you're not wasting a lot of money, and you're having some fun and getting creative, creating your invitations. So I hope you enjoyed learning about these different techniques today. Like I said, all of these supplies are available in the Launchpad, so feel free to come by and use them at any time. If you want some assistance, you can create an appointment using our Book a Maker form on the Launchpad page of the website, and we'd be happy to help you with any of these techniques. Thank you for watching, and have a great week.